Hi, I'm Paul Sherland, and I'm with Daryl Mather of BUGCO Pest Control in San Antonio, and we're going to be talking a little bit about truck-mounted mosquito fogging. Is it effective? Is it safe?
So, in regards to safety, let's go ahead and start with that first. The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, and the Texas Department of Agriculture dictate the chemical manufacturing and usage. So, we have a saying at BUGCO, the label is the law. So, the most effective way to apply chemical is as per the label. And so, what we do with the mosquito fogging or truck mounted mosquito fogging is when we apply it during the midnight hour or so, the middle of the night when there's least animal and activity. And so, say for instance, everyone's inside, the kids are asleep, dogs are inside, um, but mosquitoes are most active at that time. And the reason that it's safer than some other methods is it's called a ultra low volume fogging. And the reason that is more safe is because we break down that chemical into a very, very fine particulate that suspends in the air and kind of lowers over time. What that does is it kills those mosquitoes on contact. The benefit of the ultra low volume fogging is that it's exactly that. We're putting out a very minuscule, very fine amount. It's almost nothing. The reason that that's beneficial is because just about any chemical is going to kill a mosquito. So in this situation, we're putting out a very, very small amount, and it's highly effective at killing the mosquito population. So once it settles, it only takes a few moments to dry. In regards to safety, we don't apply it when it's been raining or when there's dense fog out, because it could carry that chemical over to places like bayous, streams, bodies of water. So we're very conscientious of timing and environmental factors. So in regards to safety, we do everything in our power to ensure that we are reducing and controlling the mosquito population in accordance with the label, in accordance with the law, EPA, and Texas Department of Agriculture. These are all very important factors to us. So should you have any questions, you can always call BUGCO. We are mandated to hand out the SDS or the safety data sheets to any of the chemicals we use. If you ever had any concerns, we could always address those one-on-one. So,
Okay. Daryl, one of the things that you mentioned when we were talking about this earlier is that cities monitor for mosquito-borne diseases like West Nile or the other ones like dengue and Zika. They're
the
reactive. What you can offer instead of that is being proactive.
yeah, certainly. So something that was reported last year from one of the local county officials, they said that we are not a pest control company. We react to um, positive samples of West Nile virus, dengue fever. So they approach it from the disease control aspect, and they have their frequency already set unless there's a positive response to disease. Whereas community associations hire us as a supplement to the city foggings, because the concern with most communities is, yes, there is disease, but also these are nuisance pests. So, I mean, you can't even enjoy your backyard with the neighbors, or your kids can't go out and play just due to the mosquito volume from time to time. So, we work hand in hand with communities and community associations to come reduce and control the mosquito population more frequent than the city treats, so that you can actually enjoy your outdoor areas again. I know that's highly important for me and my children and wife. When they call us, it's not because of the disease, while that's a concern. It's so that we can reduce the mosquito population overall. And I kind of touched on the effectiveness in that one topic, but just to kind of reemphasize that, when it's applied, when it suspends in the air, the effectiveness is also dependent on weather. And with these, anytime you have these flooding rains like we've had recently, it's going to wear that chemical away. So the chemicals are designed to be considered environmentally friendly, Paul. And what ends up happening is, like these recent flooding rains that we've had, it does wash that chemical away. It's not designed to stay there and last forever. The effectiveness is based on the frequency. So I'm not suggesting that you get it done every day, nor every, twice a week is normal. Once a week, every other week is even okay, but that's not going to reduce and control the mosquito population. Effectiveness of the applications or effectiveness of the mosquito fogging is dependent on the frequency and some environmental factors, Paul. So it's very important for our specialists to get out there and get eyes on it, because not only do we offer the truck-mounted mosquito fogging or ULV fogging, but we also offer larvicides that kill the mosquitoes before they even hatch at the source. There are definitely a variety of factors that come into play.
And the larvicides would be for ponds and that sort of thing. Is that right?
Yeah, certainly. Bodies of water that are not flowing. So you're talking ponds, lakes, and something that we talked about before is kind of on that micro scale, making sure that everyone's taking care of things in their yard. But what we're looking at from the community scale is the fogging, and then the standing bodies of water that aren't running. So stagnant ponds, lakes, things like that.
So we're getting a lot of rain right now in Texas, and it doesn't take that long for mosquito populations to rapidly increase after you get all this rain. Just a couple of days, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see, we could have a drought, and these eggs could lie dormant for months. And as soon as a flooding rain hits, they wash them into basins or places where the eggs can saturate and start hatching. You're talking about an immediate mosquito population in 2 days.
Okay.
So they're going to react to this rain in a really fast and aggressive manner, and you're going to see mosquito populations increase immediately.
It doesn't take them long, I guess, to reestablish
Yeah,
themselves.
well, not only that, but when we do the mosquito fogging, yes, that the rains can wash it away, but it's not meant to last, to settle and last for long periods of time. They don't. It doesn't have a long-term residual to begin
Right.
with. It's
Right.
not meant to. It's
Right.
meant as a knockdown. And even if it did have a long-term residual, ultraviolet sunlight, the sun
Hmm.
itself breaks down chemicals really aggressively.
Hmm.
So the frequency is very important. So routine
Okay.
maintenance is the key to any type of pest control, Paul. Something that we were talking about was the effectiveness of the mosquito fogging or the truck mounted mosquito fogging. Um, it is designed to knock down the population that is active when we spray. It's not designed to sit in the environment for long periods of time. That would just be simply unsafe in regards to chemical application. So when we do the mosquito fogging, it is exactly that. The effectiveness is in the frequency. So if we treat it on a Tuesday, we're going to knock down the mosquito population that's active on Tuesday in that area. Now, not the entire city is not getting treated at one time, so we're not knocking down the entire mosquito population of San Antonio. So what we're doing is we're treating for communities. What ends up happening is we treat on Tuesday, we knock down that mosquito population. We treat on Thursday, we're knocking down the active mosquito population that has moved in from the surrounding communities, woods, lake, anywhere that is going to be breeding grounds for mosquitoes. So obviously we don't have a magic wand. We're not going to be able to exterminate all mosquitoes in the San Antonio area. So we're going to come in, going to knock down that population, and then we're going to come in at a later date, whether it's on a weekly basis or twice a week, and we're going to knock down the mosquito population that has entered since the last time we treated. So that's where, Paul, we like to talk about the frequency of service and routine maintenance. It's the same way with any other pest. You're talking rats and mice, roaches. You can't get rid of all of them. That's just the fact of the matter. That's the nature of pest control. So that's why, yeah, some people like to call us exterminators, but we like to think of ourselves as pest control specialists. We're trying to control the numbers. I would just encourage any community association or HOA to educate their homeowners on what they can do themselves to reduce the population, and also, use repellents. Use fans on the porch. Mosquitoes do not fare very well against wind or, so use your fans, use repellents, and make sure that you're doing what you can as a homeowner or a tenant to remove the breeding grounds. I mean, you have that power over the mosquitoes in that regard, but the mosquitoes are going to fly in over the fence. A stiff wind's going to bring them over from the field next door. But
Right.
whatever you can do on a local scale, very important. Go ahead and do whatever you can to reduce and control the numbers.
BUGCO also offers a variety of mosquito control services, including the Intercare system and mosquito misting, and also backpack fogging for homeowners too, to kill and control the mosquitoes around your home.
Yeah, with the Intercare trap, it's kind of a misrepresentation because we're not trapping the mosquitoes, but that's a great system because we're actually utilizing the mosquito to control the mosquito population. So, and that works in a very large area, and we turn their breeding sites into kill sites and reduce them before they can even reduce their numbers before they ever hatch.
Okay.
So that's a really super effective method at controlling mosquitoes. And then, as well as the backpack foggings, very similar in nature to the truck-mounted mosquito fogging, but it's a little bit more targeted on like a smaller scale, more for residents as opposed to a community. So that's great if you're having an event. And then mosquito misting systems are definitely the most effective method at knocking down the spider population, fly population, and mosquito population, as well as your common crawling insects on your property. So whether you're talking about standard suburban lot, or you're talking acreage, dog kennels, horse stables, there's a variety of chemicals that can be used. Some are designed for residential facilities or residential structures. Other ones are specifically geared at horse stables and livestock.
Okay.
So it's very dependent on the needs of the consumer, but based on your needs, we can get you that chemical that's going to be most effective for your situation, your structure, and your environment.
Okay. Okay. That's great information, Daryl. I appreciate it very much.